Hello and welcome to this Global AI Community event, Getting Started with Microsoft AI. Thanks for joining, and I'm happy to be here together with Julia. Julia, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Alex. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all, although I won't be able to see everyone live. But my name is Julia Suzuki. I am the Bloomfield Hills chapter lead for Global AI. So I hosting this event with Dr. Alexander Wachtel. And the purpose of this session is to hopefully inspire you to start learning Microsoft AI. So here's the agenda we have prepared for this session. Welcome and introduction, and what is changing in terms of future of jobs, and how to prepare for the change. One of the ways to upskill in AI is to join a learning community like Global AI. So I'm going to talk about and introduce our Global AI community chapters. And then I recently prepared and passed the Microsoft Azure AI 900 exam. So I would like to share my experience. And then I'm going to hand over to Alex, who is going to talk about, okay, once you gain this foundational knowledge on Microsoft Azure AI, how to apply for it. And if you are a leader in leading the organization, you can also learn about Upskilling Framework series that Alex is leading. So first, before getting into a certification exam, I wanted to talk about why we are doing this. So what the data tells us about the future work is the following. 170 million new jobs are being created, while 92 million jobs are going to be disappear. So at the net, we are going to gain 78 million new jobs. And I feel that not many people are really talking about these new jobs, and I'm interested in talking more about like future of jobs and how to prepare. And even though you might stay in the same job, but according to LinkedIn research, 70% of skills in the same job is going to change in the next 5 to 10 years. So everyone don't have a choice but to upskill in AI and also practice human skills like public speaking and collaboration. So this is my observation, but initially, like a lot of organizations and individuals focus on AI literacy, meaning, we understand what AI is and started to thinking about like experimenting with AI tools. But now we are moving into AI fluency. Like I think you might have heard about like AI agents, agentic AI systems. And this is my observation and belief, but being able to use AI is not enough. We need to be able to orchestrate a set of AI tools to accomplish a task. And I think this definition is similar to AI agent, but we are all not only to develop AI agents, but we are going to be the consumers of AI tools. So we need to be able to understand the strength of various AI tools and be able to accomplish specific tasks. And I think that kind of this trend is described as AI fluency. And soon, my observation and belief is that soon we won't be able to notice that we are using AI, because AI is going to be integrated into the flow of our life. So, and then this is where the skills first mindset will come in. We need to be able to, like define the problems and be able to collaborate with AI to solve problems. And I think that's the trend I'm seeing. And that's why I'm empowered to lead a chapter like Bloomfield Hills chapter as a part of a global AI. So how to prepare for these new jobs that are going to be created and which doesn't exist? How can we prepare for it? I think all of us need to shift our mindset. So a lot of like media likes to focus on, like our jobs are going to be replaced and etc. But we can also start focusing more on like new jobs that are going to be created. And I feel that not enough people are, talking about the positive side of AI. I feel that, we need to be more excited about, the job that are going to give us more joy and fulfill our life. And I feel that, like AI is going to give us opportunity to design our life by doing the job that we enjoy doing. And I think that's going to be the future. And I think in order for us to shift our mindset, we need to, start practicing, positive thinking, and also not only to shift our mind, but we also need to upskill in AI and also practice human skills so that we can move in parallel with AI advancement and frame the future. So the future is going to create like new jobs, and like how can we prepare for it. And so I'm interested in like replacing the fear into inspiration and empowerment. And this platform, like by being part of a global AI, give me the opportunity to serve you all. And another, I think there are many ways to upskilling AI. Maybe you're part of organizations and your company is giving you training, but also like join a learning community like AI, a global AI community, because with my experience, like initially I may not know about AI, but you see a community member, someone I know, start using AI and complete a AI project and share it. That gives me inspiration, and also by gaining like AI skills, that gives me empowerment and start like giving me the opportunity to reimagine what can be possible. And like all of us came to this world for a reason, and I think everyone has aspiration to make meaningful impact and improve lives while we're on this earth. So join our global AI community chapter. So today I'm in this session I'm collaborating with Alex. So I lead a global Bloomfield Hills chapter, and Alex is based in Germany, and he's leading a global AI Kashurihe chapter. And I decided to be part of a global AI community and decided to lead a chapter. And the reason is because I like that mission of this global AI community. And like this community was established by Microsoft MVP initially, but they are more technology agnostic. For the past several years, I heavily invested on Google technologies, but we live in this like very open world. Like some might think that some organization is a competitors, but now we started to see they are collaborating with each other because when collaboration happens, the acceleration take place, and we will be able to like deliver AI solution that change the world. So because of that, I'm into the part of this community and decided to lead this organization. And then like it's amazing, like this community has like over like 700 members and global members, and we are two of like 161 chapters, so which is amazing. And being a leader for Bloomfield Hills chapter, eventually I would like to like host local events and etc. So I encourage you all to follow us, join your chapters, so that you will get updated on future events. So now I'm going to talk about my experience with Microsoft Azure AI. So this is the foundational exam focused on artificial intelligence. So the reason I decided to pursue this exam is because I hear bits and pieces of like Microsoft terminologies like Copilot, Azure AI, and AI Foundry, and the more I hear about it, like I started to get overwhelmed, and sometimes like when you're overwhelmed, the solution to ease the fear is to start taking actions. And I have earned 4 different Google Cloud certifications. And what I realized is initially you may not know, but by going through the certification program, which is, already structured in a way that covers like holistic topics. And this gives me confidence, assurance to learn in a sequential manner, and then at the end like I earned this like certification that boosts my confidence. So I am a big favor proponent of like using certification training curriculum as a way to upskill in AI. So for someone who does not know much about like Microsoft Azure AI, I decided to pursue this very foundational Azure AI certification exam. So AI 900 exam, this is for beginner level. And then the target audience role is AI engineer. I think there are like different definition of AI engineers, but based on my understanding by reading the exam guide and like the definition of AI engineers by several experts, what I understood about AI engineer is it's a combination of data scientist plus ML engine, ML op. So like data scientists, they will train the models to produce predictions or classification, to develop AI solutions. And then ML DevOps, they are the one who will actually deploy this AI solution to production, and then make sure like they will monitor to make sure that there is no like no change in data, for example, affect the outcomes of AI solutions. So they will monitor and then refine. So AI engineer, like to me, it's like a end-to-end solution administrator. So that's the role. And this exam is for the beginner level. It's a beginner level certification, and I kind of developed this mechanism on how to prepare for the exam. So the first step is to understand the exam. So like what is the exam length and number of questions and exam formats, and then prepare in a way so that you won't get surprised when you see the exam questions. So like I typically start off with going over the exam guide, understand, and then kind of develop a study plan, and then like create a mechanism to track, monitor and track. Because sometimes, you might be studying like 2 days in a row, and then something happens and you may have a gap. And when you come back to the study plan, you may not necessarily remember where you left off. So I kind of create this system so that, like I know I can visually see the progress that I'm making, and then like monitor like where I left off so that I can easily come back and continue. So, and then after taking the exam, I realized that Microsoft Azure AI 900 exam, this will require to be successful, this exam will require test takers to have a strong foundation. And the reason I say it is because the number of questions in this exam is 46 questions, and you need to complete this exam in 45 minutes. So you don't really have a time to, think about the questions and selecting the answer. Like as soon as you read the question, you should know in your kind of visual map about like AI, like what this question is asking about, so that you will be able to select the right question in a split second kind of. And in order for you to be able to do that, like I realized that like you need to have like a strong foundation. And then my recommendation, and this is something that I have gone through, is Cargo Learn courses is really good. Like it says Cargo Learn, but like if you go to a Cargo platform, there is a section called Cargo Learn, and then under Cargo Learn there are like several courses, and you open a notebook, Cargo notebook, and execute line by line, so that you don't actually need to write the code, you run like someone else's code. But I found that this was really helpful for someone who didn't really know about Python. And then you can kind of like mimic, like lift the code, and then create your own notebook, and you will be able to complete your AI projects. And I found this experience really helpful. I mean, going through this exercise, it was not easy. You know, sometimes you encounter some issues and you don't know how to, resolve the issue. And what I found it was very helpful was Cargo community. Like you can post a question and someone will like respond to you like within 24 hours. That was my experience. But of course, like when you post a question, make sure that your ask is very clear and make sure that you give context. And also like by I think reading or like listening to courses is good, but like you gain a lot more when you kind of like struggle a little bit. And like growth happens when you are a little uncomfortable. There is like a psychology discovery. There is a like proven evidence behind this. So yeah, so I realized that this struggle and gaining hands-on experience with AI project really helped me in passing, like preparing for the exam and passing. Um, so for my preparation, actually, I started on Monday, and then by Friday, I took the exam, and I was able to pass. And I think I was able to kind of expedite this process of like studying, like first like understanding the exam and studying for the exam and actually taking the exam to pass in within 1 week. I was able to accomplish this because I have the mechanism on how to study and also have this strong foundation by doing like several like hands-on projects, and that really helped me. And the last takeaway is like we're moving into a new era that continuous learning is expected. So it's very important that you are very selective on exam preparation materials. I have used like one material in the past, and then it was very outdated. But I kind of started going through. But then what I realized is that like I started to question myself: Am I learning that like right material? Because I noticed that like the interface on the study course materials and also the actual platform didn't match. And when I looked at the last updated date over the course material, it was like few years old. Like things change in weeks. That's the pace of the reality we are living right now. So you don't want to have this doubt, like when you're studying for an exam, especially. So what I used was I went to like Udemy, and they were having a sale during Thanksgiving. So I quickly kind of like review like several different materials, and then I selected the one that like that was the instructor was very energetic and excited about like sharing the knowledge, and I typically like go well with that kind of like instructor, so I went with him. And like also like purchased several like practice exam questions, so that I have enough materials to go through. Another thing I found it's important is like set goals and set timeline. Another good things about upskilling in AI by pursuing a certification exam is, like you tend to get like goal oriented, at least for my case, and hopefully my experience will help you as well. Is that I kind of put myself in like uncomfortable situation. So I decided to host this LinkedIn event with Alex because this will give me opportunity to practice human skills like public speaking. That's what I'm doing right now. And also while I'm doing that, in order for me to talk about Microsoft Azure AI, I need to know, like I need to um, kind of lead by example. And like I needed to prepare to talk about Microsoft Azure AI. And in order for me to do that, like again, I'm a proponent of like using certification exam as a way to upskilling AI. So I decided to just prepare and hopefully I would pass this exam by the time I present on this LinkedIn Live, and I was able to accomplish that. So that like uncomfortableness and like time pressure, like for me, it works for me. So I think this is another thing that you need to know what works for you. Like you need to know yourself. Like so for me, like giving uncomfortable situation like help me get things done. And then another thing is be strategic, not perfect. I think many of us need to reevaluate like continuous learning because traditionally like if you score like 90% trial on exam, you're considered excellent. But in a pace that AI is advancing, we are also encouraged and expected to practice continuous learning. So be strategic, like set like achievable goal, and then like develop like executable plan and execute it, and then achieve that like expected outcome. And then for me, that kind of like a cycle really works for me. And then the last thing is leverage practice exam questions. So for as a part of like studying for the exam, like going like first like go through the learning material, whatever the material that works for you. Well, for me, like a video lecture really helps. And when I go through the video, I typically like take notes because that's something to me, like active listening and paying attention to what the instructor is saying, and then documenting the key takeaways. That really helps me. And then once I do that, then I go to the practice exam questions because by going through this, like it helps me identify the gaps in knowledge, and then that will give me reason to go back to my notes or the lecture slides and then fill the gap. So that's how I typically use to prepare for the exam, and that works for me, and hopefully it works for you as well. So my tactics. Another like thing that I try to exercise is have this like mindset of get things done. I think like being perfectionist sometimes like hinder us from moving forward. So these days I try to think about like, okay, how can I get things done so that that gives me confidence on being like achieving like small wins so that I can move on to the next goal. So stay purpose driven, like goal focused. What works for me, and hopefully this might inspire you to do, is like have a purpose statement because this helps me curate what I need to focus on. So my purpose is to help individuals, organizations, and community future ready. And so this based on this purpose, whatever like I decide to do, I kind of go through the filtering mechanism. Like if I'm going to do this, is this aligned to my purpose? If the answer is clear yes, then I dive in, like all in on this, and then make sure that the goal is achieved. And so far, this has been working. And another thing I also wanted to emphasize is like well-being. I established this company called Security Wellbeing. This is my own company. In order for us to, prepare for the future, prepare for the job that do not exist yet, but I want to empower individuals, organizations, communities to, like architect their future, their own future, by doing the job or the impact we want to make. And in order for us to do that, we need to have a high level of like well-being. And when I say well-being, like mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional, these are all related. And in order for us to upskill in AI and also, practice human skills, we need to have energy. We need to have a high level of well-being because, like studying requires mental clarity, mental focus, and also mental capacity to be able to learn new materials, digest, and apply. In order for us to do all of this, we need to have a high level of well-being. So, so this is like helping people for future ready, but also safeguarding well-being. So that's the mission of my company. And then like have this like mindset of a purpose-driven, goal-focus helps me to curate what I should be focusing on. And I want to share this with you because this might help you to narrow down what is important for you so that you can focus on what is important and then start, designing your future. Practice being comfortable with the uncomfortable. So this is kind of like my mantra that I like tell myself to keep moving, keep learning. And add Microsoft AI to my AI toolkit to accomplish my mission. This is about so I have my purpose, mission, and vision statement. And then in order for me to realize this, now we live in a world where AI ecosystems are really open. So it's up to me, up to us to know which tool we want to use to accomplish a mission. And for the past several years, I heavily invested in Google Cloud technologies, and I really love it. But I also wanted to expand my AI literacy, and in order for me to do that, I decided to add Microsoft AI, and then the first step was to pursue that AI 900 exam. So I'm still not quite sure about various products and services that are offered by Microsoft, and I think this is where Alex will help. But the question that I kind of have is, what are the suite of Microsoft products and services, and does Microsoft have a unified platform that takes care of entire AI life cycles, similar to Google Cloud's Vertex AI? If there's such platform, I would like to know about it. And everyone is talking about AI agents and agentic AI systems these days. And if I'm going to use Microsoft to develop these AI agents and systems, what are the products and services do I need to use? So this is going to be my next mission, what I'm going to go after. And this is where I think Alex would be able to help us demystify. And he has been running a series of upskilling framework series. So now I'm going to hand over to him. He's going to demystify.
That's nice. Thank you very much, Julia. I'm happy to be here and present the AI Upskilling Framework, what Microsoft and also LinkedIn Learning have done there. and also talk a little bit about what is behind Microsoft AI as a platform somehow. So we have seen there from the Julia, we will see a little bit of slides, but also something on a portal directly. But we were talking about Microsoft AI fundamentals exam. If you are going to this link, I will put this one also in a post in a moment. Somehow you can figure out what is there from the level it's going about the AI and so on. And what I found really cool, you can just going on preparation from this course. There's a talk about 9 minutes. You can just grab this one, take your praxis assessment, launch this Zenbox somehow, see what is inside this exam. So you will be talking about AI, you will be talking about fundamental principles, you will be talking about compute vision, workloads on Azure, NLP, Gen AI, and so on. And also you can schedule an exam to pass this one. To be honest, that is not the only exam. So you have a bunch of exams, somehow new. That's not the new one, but the other four. There's a Microsoft Certified Azure AI Engineer Certificate. If you are going for Azure 900, the next one will be then this. And you see here, it's about develop AI solutions somehow. And you see there's a lot of more preparation. And then this one exam, you have 100 minutes to go for the Gen AI solutions and computer vision and so on. So you get more basics and going a little bit more deep dives. And the newest one are here, the AI or the AB 900. That's about the Microsoft 365 Copilot agents, administration fundamentals. There's also one, I will put this one later in the chat, about the AI business professional, and they are all in beta. You see AI transformation leader. Beta means that is a new exam. You do not see directly your exam score, and Microsoft will get back to you in a week or two, and then they provide you the score. And the last one is the agentic AI business solution architect. It's also in beta. So you have the similar structure. What you see here is there are some different focus areas here on agent to agent and MCP and so on. So let's start. So I've taken already the AI engineer 2 years ago somehow, but to be honest, I'm trainer since 2012-13 from Microsoft and AI MP for 5 years. And on the global AI community, we're talking from Karlsruhe, from Germany, since 2019, have done more than 50 events already, and we have 1.1K members. And we are doing AI Tech Days, of course, for Germany in German language, for local, it's in person, but for worldwide in English, the Global AI Bootcamps and Technical Summit. And yeah, I'm happy if you want to join and also be on this trip somehow to learn about AI, somehow to go for AI Upskilling Framework. That is something was creating by the LinkedIn team. So it's nothing we need to go and also take credit here for. The LinkedIn Learning team have done a great work to figure out what is inside each of these steps. And this framework combines their different levels. For example, if you're talking about understanding, that is for all professionals, including leaders and managers. So we understand then later what is the AI is about. So we're talking about something like this. We have one case study from Harvard Business Review, and they compared the last year, 2024 to 2025, what was the major Gen AI use case and what is happening there. And you see here that from the generating ideas in 2024, we're moving a little bit down, but you see here generating code for pros is moving up from 47 to 5th, and improving codes is from 19 to 8, but also enhanced learning is going from 8 to 4. So we going for the Gen AI more in a way, not only get a summarization or description from a text, but also say, okay, I have something to do. I want to learn about AI. let's help me on this. How can I do this, and so on. So that is something really in general I love to talk about. Somehow, where do we want to start? So we have in the next few minutes a little bit more from the all of this kind of pyramid. We are going from the 1 to 5th, but you will see here we're starting from the end user who is using the Copilot perhaps. So that is something what Microsoft prepared for us. Then we have Copilot Studio in the back, and then we have something like we have something here on an agent where we can build and host our agent. So from the Microsoft perspective here, we get something from the out of the box Gen AI on the Copilots here. What we just need a license, and then we are ready to go. So let's see if we can just figure out in a portal what is this about. So for example, if we are not on Microsoft Azure right now, here we are on the Microsoft 365 Copilot, and then we can just go and see what is new in Copilot. Perhaps we can ask this one. This is our test environment, so we are ready to go just to ask Microsoft in our work or our web licensing mode somehow. So we have a Microsoft 365 license here to this user, and then we are talking about different perspectives from, of course, the GenAI will provide us information like summary, of course, and so on. But then in the next step, I hope it will work somehow. And the next step, we can also ask what will be the next step for me to learn about Microsoft AI if I passed AI 900. That is, oh, come on. Working on the response and still working on the on the previous. So I was too quick on this. Yeah, you see here, if you're asking about the Copilot, they have some updates, of course, on GPT-5 models. We have some Copilot chat improvements, researcher, analysts, and so on. And of course, I need to be done on this chat before I can hit another one. So you see, I just grabbed the license. I am in Microsoft 365 Copilot. We can just figure out if it's starting then for this. But I'm here. I just grab a license. This is out of the box GenAI experience. I just activate the license for a user. I'm ready to go to ask my kind of Copilot and on agent. It can be everywhere. It can be on GitHub. It can be security Copilot. And then it's just a connection to different sources of knowledge. So let's see if it's done. Yes. It's a congratulations on passing. Track A would be Azure Engineer. That is the AI 102. That is what Microsoft also provide to us earlier as an exam. So you have AI 900 and 102, and then you have to plan here. And then you see there are directly links, so I can grab this, and the information is provided for me directly. The track B would be data science or ML engineer if you want to train models. So this is something like another course. DP 100 is about how to train the data, perhaps, or also DP 900 with the Azure Data Fundamentals. You can go for Copilot skills. There are several, and also engineering tracks. And you see there's a Wink 1, 2, the 3, 4, and so on. And I'm ready to go. That's not that bad from the Copilot, I think, but you get the idea. I'm just using this. So this is something what we called here. We got the understandings from the GenAI, for example. What is there? How can I just as a manager create a strategy? Like a technical guy, I would know, okay, how GenAI is working. When we applied this one already, this is for all professionals, including learners, manager, includes prompt engineering in Copilot. So you see on the Copilot side, we are talking about prompt engineering, strategy, and Copilots. So if we understand already how Copilot is working, then we can just not only understand how does it work. So perhaps we're talking about the same and also we apply this one. So perhaps if I'm asking the same question, what will be the next step, but also provide something, and I want to learn more about data, then perhaps it will directly say to us, you want to be somehow on a DP 900 or DP 100. You see, as my prompt was already mentioned more information here, then Copilot is starting working on getting me something back like, okay, DP900, we have seen this one already on the fundamentals, but also move to data science and machine learning. This is DP100. And also you can explore AI applied skills and labs on Azure machine learning and so on. So you see, as if I'm provided more information to the prompt engineering, then the system is going to hit better answers from me back. So my queries will somehow be more in an efficient way from the position from AI. The next step is, and perhaps I forgot also to mention, we have also running like a series directly. You find this one in the Global AI chapter, YouTube. It's about, the first one is about understanding AI. The second one, this is 1 hour course. So if you just want to grab them all, we welcome you to do this. And before I going to the build AI solution somehow, that was one session in August this year. You see, August is perhaps 4 months already ago. We will do another session on this, just to grab the Microsoft Ignite updates. So it will be also another AI Upskilling Framework Level 3 building live stream this week on Friday, together with Microsoft, we are Carlotta and Microsoft AI MVP Jose from Switzerland. We are refreshing the update because we have seen also major changes on the Microsoft AI stack, also on Microsoft Foundry, if you find here. So if you're going to the next stage, it's about Copilot Studio, for example. If I want to grab an agent and just to prepare its low code, no code solution, then just preparing the dialogues for this one. Last but not least, we are not talking about Azure AI Foundry anymore somehow, because Microsoft rebranded this one to Microsoft Foundry, but also created a new product. We have completely new UI here, and we do not care somehow about the legacy, because earlier we have talked about Azure AI Studio, and earlier it was Azure OpenAI Studio, then it's rebranded to Azure AI Studio, then rebranded to Azure AI Foundry. And each time we got some legacies inside the UIs, some legacy, what we can do, and so on. So nowadays, if we are going from Microsoft AI, Microsoft Foundry, we are ready to go there, to not to go for the latest one, to go for this kind of platform. Here you see this one. This is for power users and developers. We have some no code, low code, but also on the last day we have also this Microsoft Foundry where we can build everything they need. So what I need to do this is, I need a Foundry. So I created here on Microsoft Foundry one Microsoft Foundry project, but I'm going back because you see a lot of here, but I will only wanted to show you in a simple way. You created a Foundry, and then inside Foundry, you create, of course, Foundry project. Then you are ready to go. That is how Microsoft Foundry looks like since the Ignite. So we got this update 2 to 3 weeks ago. It's still in preview. That's clear. We have some agents we can create, and we have workflows and so on. We have some models. And then if we speak about providing also new models. So for example, I'm not only building the or going for Microsoft platform to build on this, I'm also going to train my own model. Then it's, you see, that is something from the really general at the bottom, more on applying, more on building. Then you figure out how that is something that is for all people. You get less people there. You can really less people there. They get few people here, and you see that as more we're going to the top, it's more specialized there, and it's more deep dives and so on. Because not everyone, I think, would build the GPTs and also fine tune the GPTs here. You just grab the base model, you are ready to go to provide the agents, and that's cool idea somehow. What is inside the Microsoft Foundry? For example, we can just provide this. You can just create an agent. For example, the data agent I was creating here. You see that this looks really similar to Azure AI Foundry from earlier. You have your playground settings here on the left. You have your chat and YAML and also source code on the right. So it's nothing there. You can just start here, hit on open in Visual Studio in web, and then you can go for this endpoint, provide the name from your agent, provide your response, provide your output, and so on. So we want to stay here perhaps for a bit. If you see the playground, you need, of course, one deployment. We have done this GPT-4.1. We see some tracing. That is what I like somehow. If something not working, that's great, because you then can figure out what is behind the scenes, what is going, what kind of calls you do, and what kind of information you grab there. You see here, hi, how are you? So I'm easily can, perhaps we are going to the agent one more time, to the data agent, and then I'm saying here, I didn't provide instructions somehow, but I can say hello in German. You see here, it will answer me with hello, wie kann ich helfen? It's how can I help you? But I can also easily switch to hello, and then I easily going for German to English, and that's great. How is the day for you? I don't know why I'm asking AI about the day, but you see it answers me directly in the right position. You see here under tools, we can connect a lot of tools, at the new tools, of course, also, just to grab our data, Azure AI search, web search, and so on, SharePoint. I already provided something on Fabric that is here. That is something on my internal company data. And then I just asked about the data. Give me some data from the year 2022. This is something inside the data that is New York Taxi data set. So there's something, how many trips do we have? What is a fare amount, distance, and so on. You see, I can easily ask about this one here. And that is the idea somehow directly going to, perhaps we show this one, give me some data for 2022 and see, or perhaps we can also going for the traces, because then I want the failed one perhaps. how are you? Let's see. There's something about COVID. I need to go for a trace where it was completely going for, yeah, please give me some data. You see there's a Fabric call there, and then here's a Fabric answer. And then that is something our agent can directly figure out. If I'm asking about the data that is somewhere on internal from your company, then it's going to provide you this, and you're ready to go. So it's the same agent also can do whatever you want, going for GPT-4.1, but also provide you your internal data. If it's not enough, you can, of course, then train your model, build your own ML models. You have going for NLP, AI tools, libraries. So that's the training and maintaining models level. And the fifth one is about, okay, if you are going to speak about DevOps, okay, we have someone who is deploying the code, someone who is levered up somehow like a website. So from one talk this week, we have also seen something like, yeah, if you want, then how would you do this one? Perhaps I open this in a second. I can show you directly. The idea on this is, you will see that earlier we provided only the idea from web deployment, like, okay, that was really clear. We have only the website, we have only the code. So you see here, that's from Microsoft Ignite 2025. So it's a talk you can also look or watch after this. It's recorded completely, and the slides you get there. And I like the idea from Microsoft also, from the build in from the Ignite in November, you get all of the resources that's available for free for you. So, for example, we completely going for this web app. Someone needs to create an app service on Azure. We have an app service plan, which is scaling there. So you have a lot of users, then it scales up automatically and so on. If you have only a few queries to answer, then it goes down. And the storage will be here. But if you compare this one for today, then you figured out, oh, we have still the same fashion store app service, for example. Then the user will hit from the internet. We have an app service plan, but then we want also to provide there something on GenAI, perhaps an agent. This agent needs a managed identity. I will talk to this one in a minute. Then we grab the Foundry agent service. Then we have here's one orchestrator agent, which goes and orchestrates different agents we see here. So you get the idea that it's not only somehow like the developer guys would just provide us the coding platform for this store app service, so how the website looks like, but someone needs also to create this kind of infrastructure. But then we are moving from the DevOps also further to AI Ops, because we have something here underneath what we need also to talk about and also be somehow involved in this kind of services. So to explain this, you see here there are 3 different agents. And what I can easily do somehow to go for this agent and provide, okay, this one will talk to Fabric. This one will talk to, perhaps we just provide this one to SharePoint. That is easy because you just add a new connection. You have your connection name, and then you provide a simple URL, and then you're ready to go for this. So that is how this can be done. But also you can also go for the knowledge, like Foundry IQ. That is Azure AI Search underneath. So you need to provide an Azure AI Search for this, and then you can grab different pieces of knowledge. But also what is new is memory. For example, what I have done this in this chat, I can just store these for weeks. And also what is new is we have Microsoft Defaults v2 as a security here. If you're going for this, I cannot deactivate this one. So defaults are directly here and working. I can create new one. That is something for responsible AI, like control, like jailbreak or hate or violence, speech like content safety, protected materials. I can protect input output. You see here also in both direction, I can go for protect. Jailbreak will be, of course, on user input. From the content safety, I can do both, and also protected materials. If the material is protected, then it's something from the query back. So, but then you see we are somehow directly shown in this pyramid directly on the top. So we are going from understanding, applying, building, training, and deeply specializations here, and also cybersecurity or ML researchers. So if you want to grab this and train your own data, you find this also. of course, here on the fine tuning. Also provide this kind of information about knowledge, about data you see here, and also about evaluation. So you have here some evaluation, also red teaming. So you can just provide here the assessments on trying to break your system in a way a hacker will do this one. So that is something we see here on the right side. So you see here the time to value, and also what you need to provide here is you're really quick just on providing the data, just on providing the license. That's it. You have to do more here, and also to do way more here. So that is something from the global AI series we have done on this, and I'm happy if you want to watch this. That is really cool. And if there's some questions on this, we can also go directly with Julia, who is back on stage, and also talk about more in a deeper way. If you want also to prepare for the next exam.
Great. Thank you, Alex. That was very helpful. I mean, I think seeing is believing. So does any audience have any questions? Feel free to post.
What I see as a question right now is, of course, if you are doing Azure AI fundamentals, the next one could be the engineer, but you also can just specify on agentic AI solutions, try this one on a beta. As a beta, you see that this kind of exams are here somehow also well prepared by Microsoft. You have here, if you fail, don't worry, you can retake within the 24 hours. That is not that bad, I think, because if you're taking on AI fundamentals, but also on engineer associate, that is not a policy here. So that is something on better side that what I liked a lot also, just to provide there also the information to all the participants, just to grab and also to try. And if there are some questions, of course, you have also, I've wanted also to show you this one. Sorry, I forgot this. You see here that this agent, what I have mentioned earlier, the data agent, you can just preview this one in the sample code app, but also preview agent. That will be a new opened monitor you see here. How can I help you? So you can try your agent, but you can also publish. And that is something completely new. You see, you can publish this one to Teams or Microsoft 365 Copilot. If you click on this one, what is behind then? That will be an agentic ID will be created for you. Here you see that is not my first project, but my second project on the Foundry. You see that this one is active, it's up and running, and you see this one can be identified from the object objects ID, and you see where this one is coming from. So this is something completely new. We see this one also if we are going to go see Tesla Cloud. We are going for Microsoft Required Admin Center. One more time, you will see here in a moment, we have the Agent 365 system right now, and it is great. You see the overview, you see all of these things, what is happening here. You see all the agents, and then you find also the agents what you were created earlier. Let's see if I can just grab the data to find these agents directly. I just need the name of perhaps the complete name, this one. And then we just, so the data is not found, but you see here, you see the second project have something here, and you see that is what's published on December 4th this year. And there's availability for some users, and you see here that is the identity ID and a blueprint and so on. You can just going for SaaS, showing for the ownership, the audit sign-in logs, and so on. So that is something really cool. What I like most here is that Microsoft is somehow going for these AI services, a easy way for users. So you see that this was on Microsoft Foundry. I can just click to publish, can just going for Teams in Microsoft 365 Copilot and use this agent from the end user perspective. So back to the basics, we created this one on Microsoft Foundry, and then we provided this to the Copilot. So user gets a license, see our agent, and then can provide something then and be more efficient. So the idea of our upskilling, I think also was Julia was saying earlier, is and efficient with AI, if you like to say it this way.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. So I think it's time for this session to end. Well, thank you everyone for joining, and hope you gain value out of this session. And make sure you follow us, and see you next time.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to speak to you, and thanks for joining us today. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.